today's video, I'm taking Saudi Arabia's only sleeper train in its most expensive room. Join me to check out the eerie stations, the VIP lounge, onboard food and drink, and tour my private sleeper cabin. We're due to leave Riyadh at 9 PM sharp for a 10-hour, 33-minute journey, taking in 1,250 kilometers of track and 4 intermediate stations as we head across the desert to Qurayyat on the Jordanian border in Saudi Arabia's extreme north. It's going to be an interesting one. Let's go. Today's trip starts unavoidably with a taxi. Riyadh North Station is some 25 kilometers from the city centre on the edge of town, and even Riyadh's incredible new metro system doesn't reach out here just yet. This station opened in 2017, serving day trains to Qurayyat, and the sleeper started running in 2023, running at present just once a week. This station is really odd, and it is kind of interesting because I travel around the world, I go on lots of railway systems, and where passenger railways are new to a country, it's always interesting to find out what they do with a railway station. And I've got to say, this one feels more like an airport than any station I've been in before. It's really kind of weird. Now, there'll be a few of you who'll want to pounce on me in the comments, and yes, I did misspeak there. This line is new, but railways aren't new in Saudi. The iconic Hejaz Railway, of course, ran here until just after World War I, and the line from Dammam to Riyadh has carried passengers since the 1950s. But this particular long-distance service is new, and your bags can be checked at the ticket counter. ID is mandatory to pass a ticket check before you're allowed through to the paid side, where you'll find a rather Spartan waiting area. Sleeper passengers can access the lounge, and I arrived just under an hour before departure. Given the rather bare-bones feel of the rest of the station, it was a bit surprising to find things like massage chairs in the lounge. There is also a small hot food buffet, and I'd assumed I'd get breakfast only on the train, included in my fare, so I had a small dinner here. More about the on-train food a bit later though, but suffice to say I've already made my first mistake. The lounge is more than pleasant to stay in and affords a view straight onto the platform. Here's a day train from the north arriving, which is almost identical to ours. It carries seated accommodation only though, whereas ours will have a few sleeping cars attached. So here we go, finally boarding, and I'm looking forward to seeing just what the sleeper train is like on board, and I hope the aircon works. Unfortunately, accessing the platform ends isn't possible, but the train is pulled by these Class 200 push-pull power cars built by CAF in Spain. And there are, I'm told, 13 carriages today, 3 sleepers, a lounge, 3 economy class, 2 business class carriages, and the rest carry cars and light goods vehicles. This is Saudi Arabia's highest class of rail travel, private sleepers, and it comes with quite the price tag. I paid 1,870 Saudi riyals for the trip, about £375, and I could have saved 300 riyals by booking a basic private sleeper fare, but this didn't come with the lounge or free onboard food, which of course I'm keen to check out. I tell you what, it feels good to be on board this thing. The aircon is absolutely first rate, and the first thing I notice about this train is just how solid everything is. Aesthetically, this train looks like a brute. It's a tank, and inside, my goodness, it's really built quite sturdily, and even the bedding, we'll see how we get on with this later, but the bedding is, gosh, that's really firm.
Safety announcement. Customers are warned that smoking is not permitted anywhere on this train. All washrooms are fitted with smoke detectors, and any passenger found smoking will be subjected to a fine.
So there are a few things which are immediately noticeable about this sleeper train. Firstly, we're about 10 minutes out of Riyadh and we're already doing pretty much 100 miles an hour, give or take. That is really impressive, and it's being done so quietly, and the standard of the ride is just absolutely first rate. I can barely feel that I'm moving. I tell you what, this room is absolutely massive, and the ceiling on it, I mean, it's just huge in here.
Each private sleeper can be shared by up to 4 people, but you'll never share with a stranger. And it's very roomy. Upper berths fold down from the top of the wall, and to access the bunk, there is a very sturdy ladder built into the bed itself. This is probably the most reassuring sleeper train ladder I've ever come across. Pretty much everything is self-explanatory. The light controls are in the consoles, as is the attendant call button. Each sleeper has an attendant on hand if you need help. And there are coat hooks, one for each passenger. And every sleeper has an individual light control and their own universal power socket and USB. These are actually duplicated underneath the shared table, so there are in fact 6 power outlets of each type per room. And one thing that's definitely worth mentioning, unlike many European sleepers, the bottom beds don't convert into seats. They are fixed, and there is a space for a cabin bag each underneath the beds. A large suitcase will need to be checked in. A touchscreen information panel is available. Well, I say touchscreen, you touch it to turn it on, but no further interaction is possible, and it shows only the progress of the train. Supposedly, there is also Wi-Fi on board, but I just could not get this to work. However, there's pretty good 4G coverage for the entire route, or at least the stretches where I was awake anyway.
We've got some freebies and a black coffee. All seems to be included in the price. But he didn't ask for any money, so...
And here's my mistake. My pre-ordered meal was breakfast, as I naively assumed you'd be served the meal before arrival. So I suppose the staff thought the crazy Westerner in berth number 10 was quite a character, ordering an omelette to come at 8 PM.
Bit strange.
So I ended up not regretting eating in the lounge. I do think they should make it clearer which meal you'd actually be ordering for on the website, and surely the dinner options can't be as weak as that rather miserable omelette. Also, and just a minor moan, the table is really not at the right height. It's kind of below your lap, which is definitely far from ideal. Our route takes us north through the desert and past what at first seemed like an empty city grid of streetlights, but which turned out to be an enormous solar farm. Saudi Arabia is actually trying to build a new city here, although I didn't see any evidence beyond this enormous solar plant. This is Majmaah. The station mosque is just in view here. All stations on the route are basically identical, which must have saved some money, but gives the line a rather eerie feel. The Riyadh to Qurayyat north-south line is of principal strategic importance to Saudi Arabia. Just beyond Qurayyat is the country's busiest land crossing with Jordan, and as well as passengers, some of whom have loaded their cars on this train in Riyadh, this line carries a huge amount of freight.
مسافرين الكرام، فضلا التأكد من مراعاة الفجوة بين القطار وحافة الرصيف عند الصعود والنزول من القطار. Dear customers, when boarding and aligning the train, please ensure that you mind the gap between the train and platform end.
Endless safety announcements. I guess some things really are universal. And as we pass this southbound day train for Riyadh, a quick word about what makes this railway remarkable. Including all of its branches, the North-South Railway is the longest railway in the world working on European Rail Transport Management Level 2 signalling. Now, you're probably not watching this video for the detailed technical aspects of this railway, but let me tell you, this is pretty remarkable stuff. It's a unified digital signalling system, which abolishes the need for line-side signals on the main line, with authority to move being provided directly to drivers in their cabs. With it being nearly time for bed, I think it's time to take a look a little at the lounge car, which is a few carriages away. This is really a dining car which serves, at cost, the same meals you can pre-order for free with a premium private sleeper ticket. It is, however, quite startlingly bright, so the ambience here is definitely not on a par with your average European dining car, and most people here seem to be from economy and breaking the monotony of their trip up by going somewhere different. There is also a vending machine tucked away at the back, but this wasn't stocked. I wonder if it is ever used. A quick word about the other classes of travel available. Economy is in a basic 2-2 layout and starts from 185 riyals, and business is laid out with 1-2 reclining armchairs and costs 520 riyals. The public areas of the train are very pleasant. There's even a shoe buff here, and a sanitizer which was empty. Maybe that's a relic of COVID? Each vestibule, which unusually is in the middle of each carriage, has 2 toilets, and very pleasant they are too, each coming with a large baby changing table, and something you won't find much on European trains. This is a bidet shower, something which is very common in countries with Islamic cleansing practices. And so to bed, which was indeed very firm, but I managed a good 6 hours sleep, the ride quality of the train being excellent, and I didn't wake once. Ignore the broken display, it has just gone 6:30 AM and we are now less than an hour from Qurayyat, streaking towards the Jordanian border and leaving a vortex of desert sand in our wake. This area is newly agriculturalised. The growth of irrigated farms since the late 1980s is stark, and the sight of it is a welcome break from the yellow tones of the desert. Qurayyat is just 30 kilometres from the Al Haditha border crossing and contains about 170,000 people, and it's the end of the line for us. The railway itself continues to the border for freight, where a transshipment terminal moves goods from Saudi to Jordanian trains. 3 trains aren't possible as Saudi Arabia runs on standard gauge, but Jordan's track gauge is much narrower at 1050mm, a relic from the old Hijaz railway I mentioned earlier. It's 7:33 AM. We're on time and wow, that was quite the insight into Saudi railways. The sleeper was of excellent quality, although the prices are there to match. I'd really like to see a shower for that sort of price. One isn't available at all on the train or at any of the stations. And while I didn't think much of the food, I found the overall service extremely efficient. Staff were pleasant and open-minded, with a couple of them chuckling that I would be coming all the way out here just to see a train. But see it, I did. Saudi Arabia's only sleeper train, across the desert, and it was quite the experience. Not many Westerners have taken this train, and I'm glad to have ticked it off my list. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. But as from me, it's bye for now, and see you in the next video. Cheers.